forward to working with both of you on this committee. And thank you to both of our witnesses today. And I especially want to thank your staffs. They are dedicated and hardworking public servants. They keep this place humming, and they protect everyone who works in and visits the Capitol. So I want to thank both of you and all your staffs. We really rely on the tireless public service of men and women who do extraordinary jobs under increasingly difficult circumstances, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, weekends and holidays throughout the year. So thank you to all of them as well, particularly the men and women in uniform who guard our doors and patrol the complex and keep us safe. I look forward to talking with you about what we can do to make sure that we're providing the necessary resources to allow them to keep doing that job. Chief Major, I also want to acknowledge your retirement and thank you for your tremendous service. You took over as chief in a very dark and difficult moment following the horrific attack on the Capitol on January 6th. Thank you for answering the call and taking on that responsibility. And I do want you to know I am going to keep pushing for us to finally hang the plaque that honors all the officers who protected the Capitol on that day. We know the plaque was made. We know it is here in the Capitol somewhere. And I have yet to see one good reason why the Speaker hasn't put it up yet. So I want you to know I'm going to keep pressing till we get that done. But thank you especially for your service. And finally, before I turn to my questions, I do want to mention, as Senator Heinrich did, about the outrageous firing of Carla Hayden, the Library of Congress, who sat before this very subcommittee just last week. She served honorably, she served capably, she made sure our nation's history was accessible and engaging, and that all of our communities had their stories told and heard. And that abrupt firing without cause, without notice to Congress is not only an affront to this incredible public service, but it really is an affront to the independence of this Congress. So I'm outraged. I hope our Republican colleagues join us in that. Chief Major, I want to ask you to give us an update on the staffing within the Dignitary Protection Division. These are highly trained personnel. They serve in critical and increasingly difficult roles. In your budget request, you are requesting additional protection agencies. How are you hiring the protective personnel and procuring the resources to support the division and meet your mission?
It's funny when Senator Mullen asked the Sergeant at Arms about the top priorities. Dignitary protection is number one for us in terms of the need and a priority in our budget. We are asking for, again, the ability to hire 288 new positions. This allows us to continue the flow into the agency and the opportunity for people who want to go from Uniformed Services Division to Dignitary Protection without diminishing the uniformed officers' ability to continue to do their job. So, that is the first way we do it. We are also bringing folks in directly to become DPD agents and hiring them directly and training them. So we've got, and we're allowing for lateral hires as well. Okay. So these are strategies that we did not use before, and it's helping us make progress. But we've got to get the number up to right now. We believe 530 DPD agents is what's needed, and you touched on it. I mean, in terms of the hours that these individuals have to work. It's we've got to get the staffing up so that we're not making people work double shifts and canceling days off and all that sort of thing. And it's the DPD agents who are the ones that are constantly bumping up against the maximum allowable pay rate. And so get the staffing up, we'll solve that problem.
Yeah, and you and I have talked before about the problem of retaining sworn law enforcement personnel. These are really demanding, high-stress jobs, and in recent years, we've authorized retention bonuses and student loan repayment programs. Is there any data in it if that's been effective?
Well, I can just tell you that our attrition rates are lower than they were before we had those. So I think that's evidence. And just anecdotally, you talk to a lot of cops, and that's keeping them here when, especially at a critical time for some of these folks that, would be at a time in their career where, well, I'm either going to stay. If I keep staying, then I'm just invested not to stay through the end. versus, or, you know, there are other opportunities somewhere else. So I think it's a very effective way to keep people here. And I know that this year, we're going to hopefully be able to offer some retention bonus, but it's not going to be near what we've offered in the years past.
Okay, thank you. My time is out. I do have additional questions I'd like to submit for the record. Thank you.
Just for a reminder, because the librarian has been brought up twice here, I really wasn't want to get into that in this hearing, but for the history of understanding the librarian and how this came about to begin with, if we go back to when the